Very special guest this weekend on Loudwire Reloaded. It is Mr. Scott Ian. I think you know him best from Anthrax. He is the guitarist, lyricist, backing vocalist, and founding member of that band, which is one of the early forerunners of thrash metal. But Scott is also a very articulate person who has done what would you say, spoken word tour prior to this book?
Yeah, well, I call it my talking shows or swearing words. Like spoken word to me is way too fancy of a title for what I do.
I caught a little bit of a video, and I would agree with you very much on that. Scott's new book is I'm the Man, the story of that guy from Anthrax. Now, you wrote this book along with John Wiederhorn, who I just love, man, from his Louder Than Hell, the definitive oral history of metal, also his book about Al Jorgensen of ministry. How did you find yourself teaming up with John?
John and I have known each other for years and years. I mean, we've done interviews together like seemingly forever. So, he's someone I've known and gotten along with and respected his work, as a writer. And it was a couple of years ago, actually, he asked me to write the foreword for the book he did with Catherine Turman called Louder Than Hell. And I said, yeah, I would love to do that. And then some time went by, and he sent me this foreword, and I read this foreword, and I'm like, wow, that's really good. When did I write this? and he's like, you didn't. I pieced it together from interviews, that we've done over the years, because it just kind of fits perfectly with what the book is about. And I was like, dude, it's weird because not only did you nail my voice, but you nailed my writing voice. And that so once I got the idea that, I could do a book, because I said, not like I thought right then I want to do a book, but I'd been offered to do a book for a while, and I would always pass because I just really felt like I couldn't commit to the work. Like, if someone's going to pay me to do something, then I'm committing to do the work for them. And I knew there was just no way I would get it done. And once I started doing my talking shows, I had written so many of these stories out, and I was telling so many of these stories live. I felt like I had gotten a good chunk of the work done, and that's basically when I realized, this is possible. And then I also knew that John would be a great guy to work with, because he understood, he understood me, he gets me, and it would be a really great way, person to work with and be able to bounce ideas off of, and not kind of go into it and trying to write, make a proper narrative and put this all together. It would have taken me 5 years, and working with John definitely cut down the time, that it would take to finish a book.
Well, the book is out now. I'm the Man, the story of that guy from Anthrax. And one thing I liked about it was the chapters are kind of short, and there's a lot of chapters in the book, and there's a lot of great stories that you tell. And for someone with a bit of a attention deficit disorder like myself, you keep it moving really well. The pace of the book is very, up-tempo, very intriguing, story after story. And also another thing I liked about it very much, it wasn't your basic kind of sex, drugs, and rock and roll story. It wasn't a lot of nasty behind the scenes kind of, disgusting behavior. Well, there is some disgusting behavior, but it is
different disgusting.
Yeah. It's the story of a rock band and your struggle with that band to come to prominence.
Yeah. And nothing against all those other kinds of books, but that's just not my story. If that was my story, I don't know that I would have written a book, because I just feel like there's already 500 rock books out there with the same story. So my story is different. It's definitely different than most anything out there. And we really did want to keep the pace fast, almost like, we're a thrash metal band. Well, this is a thrash metal book. I wanted to keep things moving along, quickly, and just keep people engaged constantly. And, there are certainly dynamics in the book, and there's a lot of happiness, and there's a lot of sadness, and there's tragedy, and there's exultation, and, there's a lot of emotions running through, throughout the whole thing. And I think that's what also keeps it moving really well, because there's just a lot of dynamics from chapter to chapter.
I would agree very much so. Very good description of how it reads and how it flows. Now, the book is available wherever you buy books that rock. It's available at Amazon, I know for a fact, and probably other digital outlets and other bookstores around the area. And you got some guy named Kirk Hammett to do the foreword for you. Who the hell's that guy?
He plays in this up and coming band. Kirk was really my only thought and my only choice to do the forward, because I wanted someone who knew me, like who's known me all these years, who knew me before Anthrax. We've known each other when we literally didn't have a pot to piss in. So, we're friends. Like, we're outside of just band friends where, I know a million dudes in bands. Hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. But Kirk and I are actual friends. So he was really my only choice, because I felt like this guy's known me since forever, since, before I was the guy from Anthrax. So for me, I just really wanted his take on it.
Scott Ian of Anthrax, thank you so much. The brand new book, I'm the Man, the story of that guy from Anthrax, written with John Wiederhorn, a forward by Kirk Hammett of Metallica, is available now wherever you buy books that rock. Scott, great success with this book. It is so fun to read, from the struggles to the triumphs. I mean, you covered it all, and it's very entertaining and much success with it.
Well, thank you so much, man.